Detroit Den 313. We are back. Stephen Will talking that Detroit Lions football. But before we get started, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Hit it like that girl back in the day that you wanted to hit. And don't forget the bell icon so you don't miss any of our new content. Steve, don't give me that look. You know you gotta wait. Actually, I ain't even gonna put you in that predicament.
I'm a married man now. Careful.
I was about to say I ain't even gonna put you in that predicament. I almost forgot. I'm gonna
and she watches sometimes. She sneakily watches, so I never know.
I'm gonna retract that one.
Yeah.
Hey, tell the people what we're talking about. Let's get focused here.
Well, first and foremost, I guess welcome to our OnlyFans account where we talk about tapping people back in the day. No, real quick, Stephen Will, we just did a live show. As you can see, we're the same clothes. We're not bums. We're not homeless people. Yeah, but it was a blast. We just want to go in a little bit more depth about what we a topic we came across. So we jumped off the live stream, started to record a little more privately. No fans in this one, but you guys can leave some comments in that. Thank you very much for all the donations, the subscribers, the comments. We had a blast. We are going to look into doing live streams more often. First time we've done it in a long time. 10 out of 10. Had a blast. But today, we're going to kind of break down Mel Kiper's mock draft a little bit more, just focus on the Detroit Lions at pick 29. No trades. He had the Detroit Lions selecting a guy we've talked about quite a bit on this show, probably right up there with, he's probably a top 3 name that we've mentioned in wide receiver from South Carolina, Xavier Legette.
Yes, sir. We talked about Xavier Legette, man. I've said it time in and time out that I love the kid. I think he's got tremendous upside, and I think that his floor, which is more importantly, his floor is coming in, playing that X and goal line situations, being able to go up, climb the ladder, and what do they call the young people call it? Head tap people.
Getting lost.
Yeah, he instantly solves our problems, man, with having an X receiver and having a guy that can go up and high point the football. If he was selected at pick 29, Steve, I have to know, how would you feel?
Not overly impressed. I would not be overly happy at pick 29. And it is no knock on Xavier Legette in pick 29 in that range for wide receivers. For me, he's in my top 3, but I'm not going to get off this train. I've been saying it since all off season. Fix the defense, fix the defense, fix the defense. We mostly have. We fixed our secondary, Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson, DJ Reader. We've added some very, very nice pieces on defense. In my opinion, the only thing we're missing is that defensive end / outside linebacker on the opposite side of Aiden Hutchinson. I need to get that fixed. As much as I love Xavier. Now, if there's a scenario where we trade back from 29 and we get another early second round pick and I can get an edge rusher and maybe Xavier Legette, I'm all for it. But at 29, I want to get that fixed. I want this defense to be full of junkyard dogs.
You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that you don't believe in Marcus Davenport. Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't believe in Marcus Davenport. I'm not 100%. It's not that I don't believe. I have a huge question mark over his availability.
You know what you taught me way back when we first started podcasting this thing?
Pretty much everything you know.
Negative. You taught me that. you taught me that during Christmas time. If you don't believe, you don't receive.
That's right.
Yeah, you got to believe, man. You got to believe. I think that no, I agree with you, man. Just busted chops, but I am excited for him though, Marcus Davenport, and hopefully he can contribute and be that missing link. I don't think that he's going to be an every down guy. I don't think he's going to be an every game guy just based upon what we've seen. If we can get 13, 14 games out of him in production, I would be happy with that. But if he gets out there and he can produce and the Lions have seen what they needed to see out of him and we don't go edge rusher and we can get Xavier, I would be happy with it. And that, I guess that's something that you're not going to know until after the fact, outside of, watching his film and doing his physical to see how healthy he is. But if we can do that, man, and maybe, like I said before, Javon Sullivan, Jonah Ellis, maybe we can get somebody that can contribute. Maybe James Houston takes a step forward. I'd be okay with drafting Xavier Legette, but that is contingent upon the big 3 being gone. Said it earlier in our live. I'll say it again, and I will stand on this. If Dallas Turner, Jared Verse, or Chop Robinson is on the board at 29, shoot, if they're on the board at 25, go get your man, right?
Jared Verse is my number 1.
Yeah, Jared Verse is my number 1 as well. If Jared Verse to me gets to like pick 15, 16, you got to start looking at going to get him. You got to start making those calls. You got to, because I just think that it's going to change. It's going to change the things, the scope of this team, man, tremendously. You're telling me that you got DJ Reader, who is a absolute mammoth of a man, a problem. He two guys need to account for DJ Reader, right? Or he's going to be put in your center or your guard in your quarterback's lap. Then you have guys on both sides that you can't chip both of them with running backs, right? And really, what is a running back going to do? I've seen
He ain't
running
blocking you.
yeah, like there's not too many running backs that are really going to come up and put a fight on with those two guys. So I agree with you there, but if it's not those three, I don't feel the same way about the impact that a Latu is going to make, that a Braylon Trice is going to make, right? Even a Darius Robinson. I don't even know what Darius Robinson is. For all I know, Darius Robinson is a defensive tackle. Right? People can say what they want to say about his one season at Mizzou playing DN, his one season, right? But for all I know, he is going to the NFL to be a defensive tackle at the end of the day that does what our guys already do. Pascal and Kaminsky are hybrids. They can play some defensive tackle. They can play some defensive end. I don't want another one of those guys. I want somebody who is either going to rush off the edge or go score me touchdowns. That's it. Bottom line. I don't think that Braylon Trice has that value. Darius Robinson has that value. I think Latu could potentially, but I'm worried about the next situation. For me, it is one of the big three edge rushers, or go get me a Donnie Mitchell or Xavier Legette. Mel Kiper, hats off to you. I think you finally did something to me that made sense with Xavier Legette. I would love to have him in Honolulu Blue, and I think that he's a guy that his career is just taken off. If you look at his production, he hasn't had production until last year, like he had last year, over 1,000 yards, a bunch of receptions, a bunch of touchdowns. I got the exact stats if you want them. 71 receptions, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. The guy was making plays last year.
Yeah, not in a very good South Carolina offense either.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was producing kind of like a Sam Laporta, kind of a gem hidden, trapped in an Iowa offense. I'm not going to say that South Carolina's offense is that bad, but he could have put up big numbers if he went to a different school. You put him on North Carolina with Drake May, well, we might be talking. He might be a top 5 receiver. He might be or a top 5 pick.
I don't know. He did have Spencer Rattler though.
Come on.
I mean, you don't think that he's above average in NCAA QBs? He's a decent QB.
He's shown flashes. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say he's great, but he's a capable quarterback, I guess.
He was a number 1 recruit coming out of high school. He was on Netflix's QB1. A lot of hype. Went to Oklahoma, didn't pan out. I believe Caleb Williams took his job. He transferred out to South Carolina. They both ended up transferring out. Yeah, he's shown flashes. I remember. I think it was who did South Carolina? They beat one of the big, I want to say maybe Alabama or Georgia 2 years ago, and it was a big game, or they came close. I can't remember. But Spencer Rattler had a phenomenal game. But it's just kind of in flashes for me. But since we're talking real quick about Darius Robinson, who most of his college career played D tackle, if that's the route I'm going, where I'm taking Darius Robinson, who played D tackle and defensive end for 1 year, why wouldn't I just take Braden Fisk, who's more athletic, more powerful, more flashy, more twitchy? I think if that's what you're going for, you could put him at D tackle and every now and then kick him out to defensive end when you need to on a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, or a known passing situation. I think he would have to learn the position of defensive end a little bit, but if that's the route I'm going, I'm looking at D tackles / defensive ends. I would much rather have Fisk.
When we watched the film before any of the combine, before we knew any real deal sizes, heights, weights, 40 times, and drills, we talked about it. I said it. Twitch. When I'm looking at the two, Darius Robinson and Fisk, the twitch. You don't see the twitch from Robinson. You see the twitch from Fisk. That's the difference to me. Now, I don't even think that Robinson is an elite hand technician. His hands aren't crazy violent to me, and he doesn't have crazy hand placement. So he's just not just a big guy. He does have some potentials, some variables, some skills that could translate. But I would rather see a guy like Fisk if I'm choosing in between the two. But to me, I need an impact player. I need the player at pick 29 who's going to make the most impact next season. If we're talking about verse Dallas Turner, potentially even Chop Robinson, I think that's immediate impact. It's going to make an immediate impact in 2024 season. if you're talking about Braylon Trice, if you're talking about Darius Robinson, I think he's going to be similar to Kaminsky, Pascal. I don't want somebody that's similar to somebody that we already have. I want somebody that's going to make an elite impact. Josh Reynolds, Xavier Legette. I think Xavier Legette is going to be a guy that can make immediate impact, and do some things that Josh Reynolds wouldn't be able to do. That's what we need to add to this team. Guys that can do things that the guys that we have can't already do.
Yeah, I like our offense. I feel like, and I've said this 1,000 times, so I'm going to keep saying it. I don't get tired of saying it because it's truly what I believe. If you get this defense in the top 10, who's coming in here on a Sunday, a Monday, a Saturday, a Thursday, a Tuesday morning and beating the Detroit Lions? Because let's say you're both ranked in the top 10, offense and defense. Yeah. Let's say, I'm just going to use them as an example. Let's say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming down. They're shutting us down on offense. Our defense is shutting them down. We're in a chess game. And vice versa. Let's say it's the other way around. Like, we are hard to match up with. Teams do not do both things very well. The teams that do are NFL champions, like the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't have an overpowering defense. They have a couple guys, and they get in the right schemes. They have a good coach. If we get the Detroit Lions in that top 10 on defense with a top, I think, number 1 offense, who's going to come in here and beat you consistently? Nobody. I mean, I know we don't play teams back to back to, it's not like baseball or anything where you got like a 3-game series against them, but you bring a different team in here every week. They might have their strengths, but our team's a top 10 in both categories. We're hard to stop on both sides of the football. Defense can complement offense. If we get an elite defense and you get the ball in Jared Goff's hands more often with some turnovers, some more 3-and-outs, our offense could be easily putting up 30 points a game.
Yeah, short field, 3-and-outs. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I just feel like I don't know that player is there at pick 29 if you're talking about Braylon Trice. That's just really, if you're talking about Darius Robinson, I don't know if that player is going to make the impact on the game. That's really what boils down to. Honestly, I do start talking about Fisk and even a Johnny Newton, maybe. You know what I mean? Just because impact to the team, impact player, best player available. That's what I worry about at pick 29. We need a guy who is best player, best fit for us, and impact. I don't want to just draft an edge rusher because we need to draft an edge rusher. That's what worries me. Hey, we need a rusher. We're gonna go with Braylon Trice, and then next thing you know, I'm watching Johnny Newton or Fisk or Xavier Legette or Brian Thomas. The list goes on. So these guys set the league on fire, and it's like, man, we could have took them. We took Braylon Trice, who was on our team for 4 seasons, and then went and signed somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that.
If those are my 2 options, I'd rather just go Xavier Legette and make my offense completely unstoppable and just hope that James Houston is what everyone else thinks that he's going to be and hope that we're both wrong, which would be perfectly fine with me because I cheer for the guys who are wearing the jerseys, not individuals. Yep. On Sundays, I want wins. I know a lot of people were ripping Aaron Glenn last year while we were winning because we were getting torched in yards, but it doesn't matter to me that we didn't give up as many points as the other team let us score. So it doesn't really matter. But I would like to see our defense fine-tune this thing, turn it into a well-oiled machine, build some sustained success to where we don't have to worry about this every single year. We got some guys on some contracts for a longer period of time. We can kind of slap some guys around in free agency as we need to. But I think football games are won in the trenches. Our defense or our offensive line loaded with Pro Bowlers. Kevin Zeitler just signed. I'm hearing he's going to play right guard because that's where he's played mostly his career. And Graham's going to switch to left. Penei Sewell, number 1 offensive tackle. Frank Ragnow, number 1 center. Taylor Decker is a serviceable left tackle. Is that our weakness? Taylor Decker? I'll take that all day. Yeah. Let's fix the other side of the ball in the trenches on the defensive line.
Yeah, I'm, I know, man, but some of our subscribers might not know. I'm a defensive guy. That's what I coach. That's what I love. That's what I've always loved. I love to watch the big hits. I remember having a VHS tape, man, back in the day of Steve Atwater blasting Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare from KC, man. Like ever since I seen that, it's just been something that I love, man. The old school days of Ronnie Lotz and those guys that were really a different level of physical, man, before you had targeting and all that stuff. But so I'm a defense first guy, but I just want to make sure that we're getting our bang for our buck is all, man. I don't want to just take a defender, man, that just fits what we so-called need, man. Um, I just want an impact player, whether it's a defensive tackle, even though that's not necessarily what we need, or you know, a wide receiver. Get me a guy that's going to impact the games and change things. So I don't know, man. Do we just get an offense that's unstoppable and we win shootouts and just hope that we can get enough stops, or do we get one of these defenses that are lights out, shut down? I feel like both sides of the football are getting to a point to where they're pretty darn good. I do. Do you feel like the offense is ahead of the defense still, like
Oh,
by a
without a doubt.
I was gonna say by a vast majority, like, or is it getting closer? Are they closing the gap?
It's closer after free agency with DJ Reader, but I think our offense is okay, let's be fair and say not top 3, even though I think it's number 1. Like, you can have Patrick Mahomes, but what does he really have around him? Travis Kelce's getting old. Like, we're not going to break down every team, but I think Detroit Lions, fine. Let's say we're top 3. Where's the defense? Is it 18, maybe 15 right now after free agency? Even with DJ Reader, like, Marcus Davenport's a question mark. Carlton Davis has missed some games. He's a stud when he's on the field. Love the draft or the trade. I like the Amik Robinson pick, but they're not home run signings. And I'm not calling for home run signings. I'm not calling the free agency bad or saying that Brad took the discounts or gambled too much on taking guys who are injured. We improved. We got better. You go out and you get a Jared Verse, you trade up, you get a Dallas Turner, one of those two guys. Your defense, I think, goes from 15 to 10. You get that defense in the top 10, those are game changers that'll get you there.
So you willing to give up that second round pick?
Second, no. Third, yes. So I'm not willing to give up. I'm willing to give up that pick 73.
All right, so 1 and 3, you go up, you go get Jared versus Dallas Turner.
Good night.
Second round,
wide receiver.
My only worry is that second round, that wide receiver is going to be second tier guy, and then you still didn't get your future guard. You know what I mean? So
you can get that as a backup later in the draft. I mean, we're not going to fix every single glaring need. It's just kind of prioritizing what's more important.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I'm looking.
You can get a Zach Zenner in round 5.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe round 4. You might have to move back up into round 4, which we don't have a 4th round pick. But there's options. It's just, what do you want to address more? For me, it's defense. Second round, Malachi Corley, Javon Baker, guys we've talked about. There's a lot of receivers in the first round that are going to fall. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's potential. We've talked about defensive players falling. It's just as likely with a wide receiver. We don't know. I mean, there's other guys. I'm looking at my list right here. Roman Wilson, is he a game changer? Not really, but he could be a serviceable wide receiver. Jalen McMillan, Jalen Polk. I really like those kids. The kid out of Washington. Yeah, I'd like to talk about him going forward. I saw him in a mock draft the other day, and it kind of got me thinking. He was number 2 on Washington behind Rome Odunze, still put up huge numbers. So he's comfortable with not being the top dog on his team, and that's not what he's going to be on the Detroit Lions. He's going to be a very, very nice piece if that fits. There are some wide receivers in round 2. I think we're just not diving fully into them yet.
Polk gives me Josh Reynolds vibes, and I think Josh Reynolds is tough, man. I know he's got a bad rep. We talked about it for having a bad game at a bad time, but he's a heck of a football player, man. Heck of a role player for Jared Goff. But yeah, Polk gives me those type of vibes. I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what we do, but I really believe, man, Brad Holmes is gonna make some magic happen. I think we're gonna see some magic. I don't think we're drafting at 29. I know that's something that you said you agree on. I think we're moving up. I did. Before free agency, I was kind of like, man, are we going to move back and try to get those pieces? Because we still had some holes. But after free agency, kind of coming to an end. I'm not going to say that it's fully done, but it's kind of seems like it's kind of coming to a close here. And seeing what we did, I think that Brad could easily be trading up in this draft. And instead of us being at a draft in Detroit, crying because we're not taking a pick in the first round, I think we might be now
rejoicing
and having a cheers session, you know what I mean? Because we're watching one of our guys get drafted, man, in the top 15 maybe.
Let me ask you a question.
Talk.
Do you think the Detroit Lions were aggressive in free agency? And if so, 1 to 10, how aggressive do you think they were?
I think they were. I don't think that they were aggressive. I think they were precise. I think Brad had a plan. He executed that plan with precision. precision. He went and got guys that fit for us. He went and got guys that made sense, didn't overpay for anybody, waited and stayed patient. He didn't get overzealous. Like I can say that I'm guilty of. I'll come over here like, man, we should do this or we should do that, man. Hey, call T. Higgins. What's T. Higgins doing? You know, whatever. Like, yeah, he said he wanted to get traded. Like,
Trade 9 first-round picks for T. Higgins now.
Yeah. So it's one of those things to where I think that I'm a little bit more chill than a lot of people that I see on Twitter and stuff like that. But I can't sit up here and say that I don't get excited as well. I look at Brad, man, and even with the Meek signing, man, I knew about him because he got knocked unconscious in the Jets game, and I had seen that. But outside of that, he wasn't a guy that was on my radar. On Detroit Den 313, we'll tell you the truth. We'll be honest. If we don't know a guy, if there's a guy isn't in our wheelhouse or deep, that we've talked about or know about, we'll tell you. He wasn't a guy that I knew what college he went to, what playing style he had or whatever. I just knew that he was a starting corner for the Raiders because I seen him get knocked unconscious on ESPN. That was it. So, but after I started digging into him, I'm like, man, this is a guy that's going to come in and contribute. Whether he starts, plays the nickel, or he's a depth piece and helps out on special teams, he's a guy that can contribute. And if somebody goes down, he can step in and we can keep this train moving forward. And I think that's what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are about. If someone goes down, this thing keeps pushing. I love it.
I think I'll answer my own question about was the free agency aggressive? I think before the DJ Reader signing, it was precise. DJ Reader was on our radar. We had mentioned his name way back in like November, December when we were just talking and shooting the shit. We were kind of like, ooh, DJ Reader is free agent this year, coming off a injury. Maybe we get him for a little cheaper. He was a little bit on our radar. I think that signing showed a little bit of aggressiveness, just a tad. I'm not like hitting like, oh man, the greatest move ever made in free agency. No, that move and signing Kevin Zeitler, who I don't think was on Brad Holmes' radar until he was still a free agent up until yesterday. I think it kind of surprised Brad and said, hey, I just lost Jonah Jackson. I need to replace that guard. Do I do it right here with him, a Pro Bowl guard, or do I go to the draft? I think it was a little bit aggressive. I'll say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a 3 or a 4. Not overly aggressive, but just a little bit. And enough to say, what if Brad and his mindset is, I'm going to be more aggressive in the NFL draft. I'm going to be more aggressive. I'm going to move up before 20 and go get one of those Jared versus Dallas Turners. I'm going to give you a 3rd round pick. I'm going to get my edge rusher. Round 2, there's some wide receivers I can go get. There's a handful of guys we really like. I think that could be the mindset that we're going into possibly. And I don't think we're picking at 29 anymore. I don't think we're moving back. I think there's a guy out there. I don't know who it is. My guess is one of those two. But if it's someone else, maybe Brad gives up a little more to go get him. But I do think he's locked on to 3 or 4 guys, and he's going to get one of them in the first round.
I can't wait.
What are we?
I can't wait.
5.5 weeks away.
I can't wait, Steve.
And our team's going to be set then. I really think after the draft, you're going to be hearing a lot of Detroit Lions talk on mainstream media, YouTube, podcasters, ESPN. I think a lot of people threw us under the bus last year with that draft that we personally, both of us, really loved.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying, oh, this is a step back for the Lions. They reached for Jahmyr Gibbs. Why are they drafting another tight end? Why are they drafting a linebacker in the first round?
Yeah.
2023, Brad Holmes, GM of the year, voted best draft class in 2023. So I think he's going to build off of that. I think he's going to be aggressive.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope we see something special when it comes to NFL draft day, and I hope it pans out to that Lombardi trophy, man. But I am interested to see after the draft where people have our Lions rated, because I felt like not that we were overrated last season, pre us playing any football games. I felt like people were like, man, the Lions, before we ever even played a down. And now I feel like we're getting the opposite. People are like, man, the Bears are doing this.
The window's closed.
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers are doing this. The Lions are in trouble. That was their one opportunity to be able to do something. Now they're trash. We got the same quarterback. We have a better offensive line. We have a better defensive line already, and we haven't even made it to the draft. I believe we have a better secondary already. Like, how did we just get surpassed by everybody? The Minnesota Vikings don't even have a starting quarterback.
Yes, they do. How dare you spit in the face of Sam Darnold?
The Minnesota Vikings don't even have a starting quarterback. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? So, or at least a quarterback for their future. So, man, I
They'll
don't
get
know.
him in the draft.
Yeah, I know. And I'm praying that it's not JJ. It's completely off topic, but I'm praying that it's not JJ for multiple reasons. One, I think Darnold is going to struggle, and then the fans are going to be like, put JJ in, put JJ in, put JJ in. And I don't think that's the right move for JJ. Michigan Wolverines bought us that national championship. I just feel like I want to see him be successful, and it's going to be hard cheering for him if he's in our division. And I don't want to see him get put in a bad situation either.
Yeah, I think all the hype came this past preseason just because of how successful the Lions were at the end of 2022. I mean, we were the hottest team in the NFL. What did we go, like 6-2 down the stretch after starting 1-6 or something like that? And if we didn't lose that clunker of a Carolina game, we're in the playoffs. But we still finished that season strong. We went into this year with some expectations. We met and exceeded those expectations. So for people to say that the window's closed, it technically wasn't even probably supposed to be open last year. I mean, nobody was picking the Lions to go to the NFC Championship game. And also, we're well aware we were up 24-7 in that game. So we were right there, shitty third quarter. But yeah, we just got to get some playmakers. So guys, leave some name down in the comments. Let us know who you're thinking. We were just kind of recapping a little bit off of Mel Kiper's mock draft, a guy we really like. But the question is there a more pressing need? Is wide receiver the more pressing need than a defensive lineman? Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button. If you're new here, stick around, subscribe. Greatly appreciated. We'll be back later with some more content.
Peace.